that the theme about unlocking opportunities for the youth, the theme itself is very eye-catchy. Industry and innovations, decoding new education policy, health and well-being, skill development and sports. I feel all the themes that are connected with this topic are so important, not only from new educational point of view, but also from the societal point of view and from the point of view our concern as academicians towards the development of youth. So this is an amalgamation of many topics which concern the welfare of youth in general, both in their career paths as well as in their overall personality development. The University of Kashmir has already taken a lead in implementing the National Education Policy 2020 in view of its importance for the future of youth. This policy has taken adequate care of all these aspects that are falling under the theme of the program, whether it's new industrial revolution, innovations, health and well-being of students, as well as their skill development and sports. I think New Education Policy 2020 has given an opportunity for universities across the country to realign their academic programs in view of the requirements of the future. Because when we walk with innovations, or we talk of innovations or new industrial revolution, it means academic institutions have a greater responsibility to shape their academic programs in accordance with the requirements of the time. The new education policy has also taken care of overall personality development of youth, where their health, their participation in sports activities, and their involvement in extracurricular pursuits has adequately emphasized upon. Today, youth are battling with multiple challenges and concerns. There's a huge concern among academics for the mental well-being, which is very important for students when they pursue their studies in today's competitive world. We can see, every day and now and then we hear of various mishaps which takes place, whether it's suicides or any other, mishaps which are happening even in our society now. So, as academicians, we have a great challenge, especially for the well-being. What measures we have to take for the well-being of our youth, especially for our school children. That is perhaps one of the reasons why the framers of New Education Policy 2020 took this well-being of youth into consideration in the policy document itself. So, this was one of the major changes in our new education policy of 2020, where the main concerns, what we are discussing today, are being taken care of. I was earlier Dean Students of Welfare also for some time. Of course, now I am the Vice Chancellor. And, repeatedly I have been asking that our students from various teaching departments and affiliated colleges, especially young girls, to actively participate in extracurricular activities and sports activities. Although, this year we had good number of our female students who participated in extracurricular activities and sports activities, but earlier what we witnessed was that very less number of our girl students used to participate in these activities. Why I am saying this, I can see number of girl students over here. It's very important for all of you to participate in extracurricular activities and sports activities, because that way it helps for your overall development. It de-stresses you from routine work, and of course it gives you visibility. If you have any talent, you can participate at not only at UT level, not only at national level, even at the international level. I was so, I'm so happy to, read the posts on Facebook of our, female pilot, recently from our own UT, who recently, advised the young girls that in whatever career they are interested, they should pursue that. So these types of role models can be very helpful to our youth, and especially when I say youth, I'm especially referring to young girls, and their parents, because the girls have to equally participate in any type of activity that is there for boys. The times have changed, and we have to balance the setup, we have to balance the society, we have to balance the work. So therefore, definitely both boys and girls, they have to work hard in order to move together. Now, with regard to the innovations, I think this is one area where all universities will have to do more, so that we create that passion for innovations among our students to make them job creators rather than job seekers. I think definitely this is the area where we have to focus more and create more opportunities for our youth in innovations, encash their idea, encash their, any innovative creativity which they have, so that they become, job creators instead of job seekers. Although we can see that there's lots of change, this is the age of technology and everything is shared. If anything happens during day, in the evening we can, see that post. You can see yourself that how much of change there has been in the mindset of a youth. Now everyone is not after the government job, or everyone is not after their graduation or post-graduation to seek a government employee, but they are now venturing into so many innovations and are also becoming successful, not only at UT or national level, but also at, global level. I'm glad to see my, young girls starting their innovative startups to earn a decent living, and equally our young girls are also participating. We can see the data itself speaks of it. Young girls are also very innovative. They are very enthusiastic to have their own entrepreneur, setup. So I think this setup, this mindset, we have to encourage right from the school level in our youth. I see many of these girls haven't studied much, but are doing very well with their small startups. And I think universities here also have a great role to play to connect with the society and offer help to such aspiring entrepreneurs. This can be done through institutions. We have with us Directorate of Lifelong Learning, so that their skills are enhanced and they are able to do better in their ventures. I'm happy to announce here that university has now created another center, that's capacity building and skill development center. So through this center, I think we'll be reaching out even to the school level, so that we can capture the young minds even when they are at the school level. At the University of Kashmir, we are determined to have the new education policy 2020 implemented at the PG level. After its successful implementation at the UG level, I am happy to share it, as my Dean Academic Affairs already shared, that we were amongst the first university in the country to implement the new education policy 2020, and we have taken a lead in it and very successfully implemented it. Of course, it will be reviewed, and whatever changes have to be made, time and again, definitely we'll do it. And we have taken care of all the components, whether it's exit option, whether it's skill development option, whether it's choosing the subjects. So that way we have taken full care of it. pertaining, taking care of our own infrastructure, taking care of our own culture, taking care of our own, human resource. Accordingly, we have devised it at the UG level. Alongside, we are equally determined to see how we can launch new and innovative programs and create strong industry linkages. Earlier speakers have stressed on this. This is again one of the important areas which we need to work hard, for the welfare of our students, because your industry connect is very much, realized with your innovation and entrepreneurship. So definitely that culture we have to, work on and motivate our young minds also. We want to create an ecosystem for innovations and incubations, and we are already working on it. I must also say here that our university is holding the Youth 20 consultation under India's G20 presidency on May 11 on the theme of climate change. It is an event of national importance which concerns the future of youth who have a great ability and potential to drive a positive social change. And I must again say that these types of collaborations, these types of programs will be very helpful not only to our own university, but it will also be very helpful overall for having connect with the academic institutions in our country. And I really am thankful to the the organizers, to the management of the university who has collaborated with us, that is CT University, and I'm happy to see that it's amongst the top 30 universities for their accreditation, and it says their hard work into the system. I do look forward to have more programs with them, and as I said, Department of Management Studies is one of the important departments of our university, not only in our university, in our society. And our society, our youth has great expectations from them, because they are the masterminds to train our students, whether it's HR, whether it's any other field. So in that we have to be very conscious, and I'm sure these types of steps will definitely train our students towards that. With these words, I once again congratulate the organizers, and again I say that I'm very happy to see the young youth present in this hall, and we look forward for their participation in future also in many of other programs. Thank you very much.
ये बड़ी ही खुशी का लम्हा है, और मैं सिटी यूनिवर्सिटी का चांसलर आपको यहाँ खुशामदीद कहता हूँ कि हम सिटी यूनिवर्सिटी के द्वारा आयोजित किए गए कैस्पन 30 राष्ट्रीय सम्मेलन को यहाँ कश्मीर यूनिवर्सिटी के साथ मिलकर आयोजित कर रहे हैं। मैं शुक्रिया अदा करता हूँ उन खास शख्सियतों का जिनका मैं बहुत आभारी हूँ, ख़ास तौर पर चीफ गेस्ट प्रोफेसर नीलोफर खान, ऑनरेबल वाइस चांसलर KU, जिनके बगैर ये जो हमारा फंक्शन है वो कभी भी कामयाब नहीं हो सकता। इनके लिए प्लीज़ तालियां बजाइए सभी। बाकी जो डाइस पर बैठे हैं उनका नाम लेने से पहले मैं कुछ चीज़ें आपसे शेयर करना चाहूँगा कि आज से 40 साल पहले 3 नोबल प्रोफेशन होते थे, एजुकेशन, डॉक्टर्स यानी कि टीचर, डॉक्टर्स एंड एडवोकेट। ये प्रोफेशन नोबल तो अब भी है, लेकिन हमने ये नोबल रहने नहीं दिया। उसके लिए मैं ये कहना चाहूँगा, एडवोकेट तो तकरीबन 80% बिक चुके हैं, डॉक्टर्स भी तकरीबन 60% बिक चुके हैं। एजुकेशन में अभी दम है, क्योंकि मालूम है आपको कि एजुकेशन एक ऐसी चीज़ है कि जिसके बिना हमारा समाज आगे नहीं बढ़ पाएगा। तो मैं सभी एजुकेशनर्स को रिक्वेस्ट करूंगा कि जो 50% हम पीछे आ चुके हैं, इसको बिकने नहीं देना। प्लीज़ अपने लिए ताली लगाइए। तो मैं आगे बढ़ते हुए, जो कि हमारे दूसरे प्रोफेसर फ़ारूक ए मसूदी, डीन अकेडमी का बारी हूँ, डॉक्टर निसार अहमद, मीर रजिस्ट्रार यूनिवर्सिटी कश्मीर, प्रोफेसर इकबाल अहमद हकीम, हेड डीएमएस यूनिवर्सिटी ऑफ कश्मीर, डॉक्टर तसद्दुक हुसैन, डायरेक्टर स्कूल एजुकेशन, और सबसे ज़्यादा मैं आभारी हूँ जो कि हमारी तरह वर्कर हैं, मेरे बहुत मित्र हैं, मोहम्मद अयूब शाह, कोऑर्डिनेटर वर्कशॉप कश्मीर यूनिवर्सिटी। आज हम यहाँ कश्मीर और पंजाब के कई अलग अलग इलाकों में आए हुए लोगों का स्वागत करते हुए बहुत खुश हैं। ये एक बेहद अहम कार्यक्रम है जो कश्मीर और पंजाब के बीच एक अनूठा संयोग है। ये सम्मेलन कश्मीर और पंजाब के क्षेत्र में बीच भाईचारे के आधार पर एक अनोखी पहल है। अल्लाह के करम से हमारे बीच एक रिश्ता बना रहा है जो इस कॉन्फ्रेंस के ज़रिए आगे बढ़ाया जाएगा। ये आज की तारीख में एक महत्वपूर्ण पल है जो हम सभी इस महान रिश्ते को देख रहे हैं। ये उत्तर भारत में भाईचारे और एकता को बढ़ावा देने के लिए एक शानदार मौका है। तो मैं आज एक और आपसे शेयर करूँगा कि मेरा एक यूनिवर्सिटी है, 17 कॉलेजेस हैं, 2 स्कूल भी हैं। मुझे एक बार एक वफद स्कूल के लिए मेरे बच्चों की कुछ कंप्लेंट लेने के लिए 15-20 पेरेंट्स आए थे। तो उन्होंने मुझे कहा कि हमने चेयरमैन से डिस्कशन करनी है और किसी से नहीं करनी। तो मैंने कहा ज़रूर मेरे साथ कीजिए। तो पेरेंट्स ने कहा हम फीस भी दे रहे हैं, ट्यूशन भी दे रखी है, ट्रांसपोर्ट के भी पैसे दे रखे हैं, लेकिन हमारा बच्चा जो हम चाहते हैं वो बन नहीं पा रहा। मैंने कहा बात तो आपकी ठीक है, लेकिन ये आपने कभी चेक किया है कि बच्चा स्कूल में कितने दिन आता है और कितने घंटे रहता है, और आपके पास कितने दिन, पूरे 200 दिन आपके पास रहता है, और जो 180 दिन है वहाँ वो हमारे पास 7 और 8 घंटे रहता है। आप उसको फंक्शन में लेकर जा रहे हैं, हिल स्टेशन पर लेकर जा रहे हैं, और उनको मोबाइल दे रखे हैं, और किन किन लोगों से वो घूम रहे हैं, पेरेंट्स कभी उसका ध्यान नहीं करते। हमेशा स्कूल पर ही तोहमत लगाते हैं कि स्कूल वाले ध्यान नहीं रखते, टीचर ध्यान नहीं रखते। तो मैं टीचर्स के थ्रू पेरेंट्स को ये बात समझाना चाहता हूँ कि जो आप पर कंप्लेंट्स आती हैं तो टीचर अपने पेरेंट्स को समझाइएगा कि वो भी, उनका भी कोई मतलब उनकी रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी है, अकाउंटेबिलिटी है कि बच्चा कहाँ जा रहा है, क्या कर रहा है, मोबाइल लेकर कहाँ कहाँ घूम रहा है। तो हमेशा पेरेंट्स को भी ये चीज़ बताइए कि ये दोनों हाथ से ताली लगती है। सिर्फ और सिर्फ टीचर या प्रिंसिपल की ड्यूटी नहीं है, पेरेंट्स की भी ड्यूटी है। प्लीज़। तो मैं ये कहना चाहता हूँ कि अगर समाज को आगे लेकर जाना है तो अब ये जो नेशनल एजुकेशन पॉलिसी आई है, जिसके लिए अभी हमारे डायरेक्टर साहब इसको बताएंगे, तो पिछले दिनों हमने देखा कि आज 7-8 साल पहले तकरीबन 29 लाख जो कि ग्रेजुएट इंजीनियर थे वो फ्री थे और उनको कोई 10,000 की जॉब नहीं मिल रही थी। और उसकी वजह से हुआ क्या 22,000 कॉलेज बंद हो गए, जो कि इंजीनियरिंग कॉलेज थे मोस्टली। हुआ क्या कि हमने बच्चों को स्किल नहीं दिया, सिर्फ एडमिशन की और डिग्री दी। तो वो जो नेशनल एजुकेशन पॉलिसी है इसी पर है, जो कि DDU-KY है, वो भी स्किल पर है। अब आपको जो भी पहले स्कूल में 6th, 7th, 8th में ही स्किल करवाया जाएगा, अगर आप अच्छे से वाकिफ़ हैं, फिर वो कंटिन्यूसली आपको यूनिवर्सिटी और कॉलेज में भी ये स्किल डेवलपमेंट का जो भी इंडस्ट्री में हो रहा है उस पर काम करवाया जाएगा। इसके लिए मैं पेरेंट्स को और टीचर्स को कहता हूँ, बच्चों को भी आगाह करता हूँ, अगर आपके पास स्किल नहीं है तो आप ज़िंदगी में कामयाब नहीं हो सकते। एक मैंने प्राइम टाइम देखा था जिसमें जर्मन का बच्चा 7th, 8th में बार बेंडिंग कर रहा है, कारपेंटिंग कर रहा है और प्लम्बिंग कर रहा है। हमारा बच्चा जो है यहाँ का, ये मैं पुरानी बात कर रहा हूँ, अब तो काम करने लग पड़े हैं। तो पुराना जो भी जर्मन और जापान हमसे आगे बढ़े हैं, वो बच्चों को स्किल में 6th, 7th में ही डाल दिया जाता है। इस वजह से वो जितने भी कंट्रीज़ हैं हमसे बहुत आगे बढ़ जाएंगे। अब ये जो न्यू एजुकेशन पॉलिसी आई है, इसके 5-10 साल तो लगेंगे, लेकिन हमारा कंट्री भी बहुत आगे बढ़ जाएगा।
About this new education policy, at the very outset, I would like to advise my youngsters who are sitting here. Kindly familiarize yourselves with this new education policy. It's available in the form of summary. You can go through it and try to understand. Maybe you are at that stage of your studies, each and everything you may not pick up, but please try to understand what this policy is. Policy always, as all of us know, it's an aspirational document. एक दस्तावेज जिसमें कुछ आरज़ुएं दर्ज होती हैं, जिसमें कुछ तमन्नाएं दर्ज होती हैं. Then how to give it a practical shape? Many things in the policy are given in such a manner that it's easily we can implement it, we can just give it a practical shape. But there are many things which we have to work, which we have to strive, how to give practical shape to those things, how to achieve those objectives. So let us bear this thing in mind, that we here in university as academicians, or our leaders, academic leaders, or our teachers, or our administrators at college level, or principals, or our students, they will have a solution for each and every aspect, or they will find solution, they will implement each and every note. We have to sit together and find out ways, draw a roadmap how to implement this policy. Because otherwise we see a sea of opportunities in this policy. One of the major features of this policy is flexibility. Our academic administrators sitting here, they might have gone through the whole document, what this flexibility means. But for my students, I'd like to make them understand flexibility. Just one dimension of flexibility I would like to discuss with you here. Many of us, if not all, many of us have experienced it in life. जिंदगी का एक अच्छा खासा सफ़र तय करके एक स्टेज पे हम पहुंच जाते हैं and we understand, I could have done this thing better than that what I am doing present. मैं शायद लिटरेचर में बेहतर परफॉर्म कर सकता था बजाय साइंस के. मैं शायद मैनेजमेंट में बेहतर परफॉर्म कर सकता था बजाय सोशल साइंस के. बट अनफॉर्चुनेटली वी रियलाइज दिस थिंग आफ्टर ट्रैवलिंग ए लॉन्ग डिस्टेंस. Let me admit this thing before Honorable Vice Chancellor. I am one amongst them who realized this at this stage. My subject is food technology. Food technology से बेहतर मैंने कुछ और किया होता. I would have been better in that. I wish my students who are sitting here, please try to identify this thing. One of the famous teachers, of course, he remained Vice Chancellor of one of the famous Indian universities, Delhi University, Professor Dinesh Singh, a famous mathematician. You must listen him. Many of his speeches are available on YouTube also. In one of his speeches, he said that there is a drum inside. A drum is beating inside everybody. Inside every personality, there is a drum which always beats. And the moment you identify the tunes of that drum and start dancing to the tunes of that drum, that you have been in a position to identify your passion, what you can do the best. Always try to listen those tunes. So once we are in a position to identify that thing, things will be much more easy. Then another dimension of this flexibility is that once you move ahead, maybe at this stage we may not understand the flexibility component of this new educational policy, but once you move ahead, go to higher secondary, go to colleges, go to universities, you will understand what this flexibility is. You have ample opportunities, say, picking up the types of courses which you can pursue, which you can study, where you can perform better. So that's important aspect of this policy. That till recent past, all over the world, academicians, researchers, intelligentsia, they would think, I'll study, I'll read, I'll conduct research on the aspects that quenches my academic and intellectual thirst. जो मेरी आलिमाना और दानिशवराना ज़रूरतों को जो सब्जेक्ट, जो मजमून पूरा करेगा, I'll study that. काफ़ी देर तक ये मंजरनामा all over the world it was prevailing like this. But the things have changed now. All over the world, academicians, academic institutions they have been asked these questions. If your academic programs, if your research programs, if they don't bring any vibrance in the economy of that region, you are failing in your duties. So unless and until we don't keep this thing into consideration, we may have to reconsider our plans, the whole this scenario. This won't improve unless and until or in other words, the basic objective of that national education policy, we may be failing to achieve that objective. Another aspect is that imparting skills around which today's workshop is going to revolve. Discussions will take place on this, upgrading the skills, how to impart the component of skill in our educational system. Briefly, let me put it this way, that here the close collaboration between academia and industry, that's very essential. Otherwise, we may be talking about skills in our universities, in our schools, in our colleges, trying to impart, but unless and until we don't bridge the gap between academia and industry, we will not be in a position to achieve that objective. But there are many roadblocks in bridging this gap. Is our industry ready to welcome our students, our researchers, our faculty to spend a week or a month in the industry so that he or she can pick up some things from there? Probably not. How many of us as faculty members, as teachers are ready to spare some time along with our students, along with our scholars, go there in the industry, see what are their problems, or at least learn something from there? Again, this needs to be relooked. I'm of the opinion, unless and until some sort of incentivization is there, both Industry needs to be incentivized so that they can welcome institutions. Similarly, the faculty who are really interested to do research on need-based things. I think incentivization on both these things is very essential.
The program especially was conceived in the view of that since NEP 2020, which the University of Kashmir has been pioneering institution in the whole India, which has already started, which has already implemented this NEP 2020. Though we see in the various parts of the country that they design courses in the light of NEP 2020, rather we have not only designed, we are designing the curriculum, the entire scheme. And for that, we have got implication on account of the studies, on account of the courses being taught at secondary school level, at the college level. So what we need is, there is a dire need of sensitization and making this awareness program amongst the, our faculty, our children who are now going into the secondary level education or higher education. Because I believe that since we are facing certain obstacles, certain problems, so that we are able to make them aware, so that things can be ironed out, so that we have a smooth implementation of NEP 2020. In view of the new global challenges, wherein we see the whole world become a global village, where we see now the innovation is the hallmark of any education system, where we see the entrepreneurial skill is the requirement of the day. So this idea of this conducting this workshop with the official city university was conceived after due deliberations with our own university administration, and especially Honorable Vice Chancellor has been, I was really delighted to see that she gave the due approval for this program in view of the paradigm shift which we are actually facing in the current scenario in terms of the education sector. As a part of we being at the highest of learning at the University of Kashmir, we feel obliged to contribute to the well-being of the society in higher education sector and help guide our youth who have to prosper in their career, and also inculcate the sense of acquiring knowledge, skills, wisdom, so that to grow them in their lives and also contribute to the society. Universities are about how lives could be lived. They prepare young people for the challenge of tomorrow. That's how universities deliver to the notion in perpetuity and ideas that are ahead of time. Theory of today becomes practices of tomorrow, and society draws on these resources for advancing knowledge that will better the world. When a society becomes too lazy to draw upon this knowledge, or when the university fails to experiment or build questioning and innovative values in students, then the society becomes vulnerable to possibility of an economic and social decline. Society then stops driving change in how it will define living and building relationship with people and their ideas. There are forces which we need to recalibrate in view of the changing happenings. That's our demographics, the science and technology, the climate change, which is the theme of the Y20 meet due on May 11, and urbanization. They are having phenomenal impact on how people think and how they work and relate with others and the state of resources for the same. They are also rewriting or understanding our laws of the society. What does this do to the world of higher education? Education specifically significantly affects both the changes themselves and our ability to manage and adapt to these changes. It's well known that the size and the quality of the higher education, the higher the chance of the society as a whole will have better, prepared citizens to lead and adapt to these global changes. Societies that are able to create equal opportunities to get quality education are more likely to develop the DNA of survival in these changing circumstances that perhaps those where access is not based on capabilities. It's important that for the young in the society, especially our youth who are here in the present the hall, to believe in themselves, to believe in their capabilities, and so that they can improve their chances that an economy will shift towards a higher value, so that can give them the better jobs, that can give them so that their better ideas can have an impact and use the technology at their disposal for the social purpose. Large population of young in geographical proximity provides for bridging this information gap but without an ability to link science-driven worldview with one's own sociological context, it becomes a volatile admixture of disablement and discontent. More importantly, Indian institutions, especially our institutions, will have to understand the nature and causality of these impending changes and articulate how the society will need to drive them and transform its simultaneously in order to adapt to changing environment and ensuring the requirement of the same. So apart from bridging the gap with the societal connect, with the youth connect, with the industry connect, we are also trying to bridge the gap with the academic circles, with the research arena. So we need to keep our lives very open. So that's why I feel this is our job. So at the theme of the program is that actually we need to now therefore not look up, look down, look sideways. So it's a holistic perspective of NEP 2020. That is actually a new era of education, and wherein we not only need to understand, we need to design the curriculum. So it's a more of a flexible system, wherein we are trying to bring in this flexibility. We are trying to bring in the more, so that it is easily understandable, some kind of mechanism of getting the uniformity, though the program, the NEP 2020, assures what we say is a kind of more flexible approach. Like at UG level, there are many exit options. We want our students at the +2 level need to understand their own capabilities, need to understand their opportunities that exist in the market, so that they can finally take up a right kind of career. For that, maybe University of Kashmir tries to drive and have many discourses in the future as well, and that it will continue. So against this backdrop, NEP is playing a pivotal role in designing, developing, implementing, and controlling the overall system, this robust system. We have to therefore take all stakeholders in view.